What's going on, guys? Joan and Joe back here with another Master Duel deck profile. Thanks to me spending a lot of points and gems on staples on my first account, I decided to start another on my Steam profile to do things safer and easier. My first order of business was to focus on a meta deck to rank up with, and then focus on other fun decks for the channel. The meta deck of choice I have, at least until Sword Soul comes out, is Tri-Brigade. Tri-Brigade is probably one of the most popular decks that can easily thrive on its own, or be incorporated into a bunch of different archetypes that are beasts, winged beasts, or beast warriors. Lyralisk, Zodiac, Furhire, Harpies, Glad Beast, Firefist, Melfi, these guys can be sprinkled into any of these decks. For my preference, I tend to enjoy the small Zodiac package with a AA Zeus, and from there it's up to whatever text I can run. For this account, it is entirely free to play, meaning I did not spend a single dollar. You get about 7,000 gems just by doing the tutorials on solo mode, and plenty of crafting points from just playing ranked a few times. I also made sure to get the gold pass and the special packs with Ash Blossom, Judgment, and Lightning Storm. After that, I just hit the required packs Stalwart Force, Echo Chamber Nation, and Those Who Stand Against Kings. I even hit the Code Talker pack Soldiers of the Storm just to see if I get access Code Talker, and I actually did somehow by some miracle. Oh, that was so heat. By now I'm sure many of you are aware, but dismantling any useless SRs and URs for crafting points is very important in this game, as I did have to craft 7 SRs and 6 URs to finish out the list. I opted not to go for the Max Cs this time around since I'm not sure what the future holds for the ban list, so I settled for the cheaper Droll and Lockbirds who can handle Drytron and Max Cs quite nicely. Ash at 2 is becoming a comfortable number for me for now, while I didn't want to get too greedy with Desires at 3. Tenki, however, was mandatory, and since I don't have droplets yet, Chalice once again saves the day at least until I hit Platinum rank. I pulled both Twin Twisters, which are pretty standard for me now after all the Eldritch and Traptrix players made themselves known, and discarding Kit or Nerval also helps your plays advance, so it's a win-win. From here, I decided to really rely on some cheap effective tech options like Torrential Tribute and Solemn Scolding. Torrential does come into play before you activate Revolt, and it is rather easy to have Scolding as the only set, as the cheap alternative to 3 Judgment. The Zodiac package is different from what I'm used to, as Rapier is banned, but having just 3 with Dryden can give some additional defense, or you can clear boards with Borbo and Zeus for a little breathing room. Now I didn't initially have Almirage in the list, but it has proved its worth as opening Nerval or Kit alone can be kinda rough. You still aren't guaranteed to play, but if you have Desires you can at least get some important pieces out before banishing 10. Link Karibo can serve as a mediocre replacement if you have that and not Almirage, but do remember it only works with Nerval. The deck can go either first or second depending on tech choices, but this build is set to go first unlike my last deck. Setting up the Grave and Revolt is a primary goal so you can summon Shiraig on your opponent's turn for a quick banish, and Nerval Search to keep your plays going. Ideally you would do this with some help in the form of hand traps, other back row, or other monsters such as Appaloosa, Ancient Warrior Double Dragon Lords, or Zodiac Trident. Whatever is possible, the deck can make a good bit of interruption and have a play next turn, as long as you chain block Nerval Search and use your other cards properly. Once your opponent is weakened, you can use either Raise Velgar or Access Code for a swift kill since you can make Link monsters so easily. Since the Tri-Brigade monsters all have to banish the monsters in the grave to make an appropriate Link summon, avoiding infinite impermanence, effect veiler, or skill drains is definitely a priority. Planning out a Karash special summon effectively can help you, as well as a Ferrogy special summon if you are forced to manually Link summon from the field somehow. This replay here shows off probably the strongest turn 1 board the deck can make. Like I mentioned, no matter what, the goal is to fill your grave with monsters via Fractal, or discarding a Kit or Nerval somehow. From there you will Link summon either Bear Brump to search for Revolt, or you can summon Ferrogy for an extension if your hand works for it. Revolt is the key card here, as recycling your monsters back into the grave, searching, and quick banishing is too good of a play to pass up. The Judgment in hand was back when I ran it in place of a 3rd Scolding, but either works. I don't use this combo as much because it requires you to discard 2 cards with Bear Brum to make it work. Now this may seem costly, but I think the best time to go for this board is when you have 1 or 2 extra Tri-Monsters in the hand. If you have different back row and hand traps, I would avoid discarding them if you feel like they can provide a better defense, or safer defense that is less susceptible to Lightning Storm or something. As you can see, this board has 3 monster negates with Appaloosa, 1 bounce with Dragon Lords to protect the Appaloosa, and a quick banish with Shiraig via the trap card Revolt, which can also be used to protect Appaloosa or Dragon Lords. Judgment is just amazing icing on the top, but ideally you would have something like this or more. If you get Desires in that opening hand plus the ability to make this board even better. For the final blow, you ideally want to take the monster you search with Nerva on your opponent's turn, summon a Link 3 monster with it, and then summon access code with those two. The cool thing about Shiraig is that he gets a banish once per turn if he or another beast type monster is summoned, so you have even more removal before access code even comes into play. It's a scary deck sometimes, but I hope you guys enjoy it. If you want to see more replays in another video, let me know, but till then make sure to subscribe and tune in for the Twitch live streams on Sunday at 7 PM EST. Monarchs are up next.